Hi, I'm Willie. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you. And what we're going to talk about in this video is when it is appropriate to jack up your network to make it more secure. And I know that it's supposed to be a pun, but when we look at the physical side of the security of your network, we use a tool, and I've used it for a long time, called a PadJack. And what it does is it provides a physical accounting of either your wall ports or your Ethernet ports on your switch. Sometimes if you've got unmanaged switches and cables get left plugged in, or they shouldn't, or they're in an area where maybe staff can get to them, under a desk or whatever. What this device does, and it's very simple, it essentially creates a physical barrier in an Ethernet port, whether it's at the switch, at the wall, or at the wall jack, or the keystone jack. And I've got one here that's been used, and I'll show you the website here in a second. But this is only just part of the the security jawbreaker. But I've got it here in my hand. I don't know if we're going to be able to see it or not. Let's see. And what it is that a physical device that has a control number on the back, and it actually blocks you from being able to plug into the Ethernet port. And to get this out, on the front there's a piece of plastic, and you have to cut it with scissors or side cutters or something like that. Now here is their website. It's PadJack.com. Like I said, I've been using these for years as part of my physical security. They're out of Florida. And when you put these, like I said, after you put these into a port, they have to be cut, and they have a control number. So your audit person, or your physical security person, or even someone just playing the role of the physical security person, if they stayed at a Holiday Inn Express last night, they would have a list of all of the control numbers on this. Let me see if I can get this to focus here. So on the one side of the jack, it's got that control number, and they do send an Excel spreadsheet template that they created to help you track these, right? So you know where these are all plugged in, you know what switch they're in, or what wall port they're in. And then when you go to do an audit, you can see if they've been cut. You can tell what has, if somebody has been messing with that port. So it is tamper evident design. And like I said, once you put this in an Ethernet port, it has to be cut to come out. And check this out. So they expanded. They started with the Ethernet blocks. And this is the one that I've got right here that's been cut. So we'll open that. But you can see that they have SFP port locks, HDMI, DisplayPort, USB. They have cable lock. So you put this in around, this one in around an Ethernet cable, and then the Ethernet cable actually can't be unplugged. They've put a lot of thought into this. Here's a USB-C lock. DB9, DB25, DVI. This is an excellent portion, or an excellent portion of your physical security, your overall security jawbreaker. This is what the device looks like when it's not been destroyed, to be taken out of a switch or some sort of Ethernet receptacle. They do make them in different colors. I've used, obviously this one's red, I have used the green, I have not used the yellow. And they are serial numbered. There's no special key because you have to cut them. Here's another look at what it looks like. And they're not horribly expensive. For 25 of them, it's $70. The more you order, the cheaper it gets. I typically order them, 500 at a time. And you can also, let me see if it tells us what all colors you can get these in. Yeah, and right here it says environments where compliance with PCI credit card laws and HIPAA high tech is crucial. The PadJack ensures security at the physical level by blocking access to network jacks, particularly in high risk areas like lobbies, hospital rooms, conference rooms, and hallways. While firewalls and software often offer protection, the PadJack physically stops them at the jack, preventing internal security breaches. Because as much as we'd all like to say, you know, make sure the switch port is disabled, make sure it's not patched in, you never know what's going to happen. So having another piece of physical security to help you with that is a great idea. Let me see. I think you might have to email them to tell them the color. But this is not sponsored. I've used these for years. And they work really, really well. I've never had one fail. I have had people pull on them enough that they damaged a port, but at least then we knew there was something going on. You can roll back footage, you know, from a nearby camera, things like that. Employees are definitely going to notice if somebody's trying to mess with one of these and pull it out. And it just gives you that extra step on the physical security side. So I thought you'd like to see these. My experience with them has been positive. Besides disabling the port and walking around and making sure everything's unpatched or not plugged in, how do you handle your physical security when it comes to audits and ensuring that portion of security? Let me know down below. Try these out. Like I said, they're very inexpensive for what they do, in my opinion. But let me know how you handle the physical security side of ports and wall jacks and all the things, physical network security. In an ideal world, there'd never be a port where people could get to it that didn't have a use for it, but we all know that doesn't happen. So share your stories down below. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, comment, and share. Follow me on Twitter and TikTok. Those links are down below, along with affiliate links, a Patreon link. And if you need IT consulting, head on over to williehowe.com. Fill out the contact form that's on the front page, whether it's designing physical security solutions, your logical security solutions, voice over IP, networking, storage, all the things. williehowe.com. Fill out that contact form and someone will be in touch with you as soon as possible. Come on over to community.williehowe.com and talk about your security strategy. Well, once again, I'm Willie. I want to thank you for being here. And as always, I'll see you in the next video.